Good? Go ahead, sir.
And for Terrence, are you ready to feel the Mexican power, Terrence?
Oh, yeah. I'm ready.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So leading up to this Crawford-Canelo Alvarez fight, it was some really interesting breakdowns and interviews that Terrence Crawford did. One in particular really stood out, and it was the interview that Terrence Crawford did with the former UFC champion, Kamaru Usman, and his co-host, who's also a UFC fighter, Henry Cejudo. I think that's how you pronounce it. Now, Henry, you can tell right off the bat, he's a complete race fan, right? On top of it, he seems to talk like a casual, which actually made for a better exchange when he was talking to Terrence Crawford, because he had Kamaru and Terrence Crawford laughing like they was listening to straight comedy. At least with one thing he said in particular. When I first heard him say it, I even bust out laughing, because he said to Terrence Crawford, like, how you gonna deal with his power, with Canelo's power? I mean, he's knocked out guys like Amir Khan and James Kirkland. And I'm saying to myself, man, if you believe that those are Canelo's most impressive knockouts, then that doesn't say too much about Canelo. I mean, maybe this Henry guy was completely unaware that Amir Khan was a welterweight, and he was known for having a glass jaw. So not only was he fighting against a much bigger Canelo Alvarez, but even when Amir was fighting at welterweight, he was getting knocked out by guys. And James Kirkland was a shadow of himself. He had already previously been knocked out and was never the same. Canelo Alvarez, he was known, at least when it comes to the majority of his fights, he was known for fighting guys coming off of their worst previous performance, because that's what gave him the confidence to get in the ring with those guys.
I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out. From Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not. Kovalev.
Kovalev was older. He does. Don't get me wrong. He does have a lot of power, but all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect to none of those fighters. The skill level is night and day.
So how do you see a fight with Canelo?
Tough fight. Canelo is a great fighter. Like, I always had respect for Canelo. I just believe in my skills. The fact that people doubt me, it just fueled me even more. Try to get the fight even more. And I'm watching him, I'm like, man, I can beat this dude. I've been fighting people bigger than me all my life, and I always came out on top. You gonna get hit. It's a fight. He gonna get hit too. It'll be good.
Okay, so you guys heard what Henry said once again leading up to the fight, interviewing Terrence Crawford. Now, what he said after the fight had Usman laughing as well, but this time it was for a different reason. This time it was more out of shock. And I'm gonna tell you, man, this shit is so funny to me, because I love Kamaru's reaction to everything Henry said, because you pretty much have an idea of what he's thinking in his head while he's listening to what Henry says.
Terrence Crawford was using the feints. Terrence Crawford was turning them. Terrence Crawford was throwing combinations and countering. Yeah, it was kind of an easier fight to score, Henry.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, 100%. I think the biggest thing that I would say with Canelo is because he stalks so much, he doesn't know how to really like inch himself in or fake his way in with somebody with that speed of Crawford, and particularly him being that southpaw. So every time he would get into that jab range, boom, the jab was coming. So he was able to. So Terrence was able to keep him at at bay, but he's gonna have to discover some of that stuff. He's gonna have to maybe even, and I'm not gonna be racist right now, but he's probably gonna have to get a black trainer, man, for some time. Like he has to, because Mexicans box different. Mexicans box.
Wow.
The reason why I say that is
Really?
because De La Hoya to pick up his skills and to understand a lot of his competition, he got Mayweather.
Started eating chicken.
Yeah, he got Mayweather's dad. You know what I'm saying? Like this is real, dude.
No.
And in order for you to understand, like a black fighter, dude, you gotta get a black coach for a minute. You know, you can't just go Mexican all the time. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, man. So that's a hell of a 180. My man Henry, he went from telling Terrence Crawford, how you gonna deal with that beast, man? I mean, the power he has. He's knocking out Amir Khan. He's knocking out James Kirkland. He went from saying that to saying, you know what, man? The only way Canelo is going to be on the level of a black fighter like a Terrence Crawford or just a black fighter, period, is for him to get a black trainer so he can learn how to fight like them. That's a hell of an admission right there, especially coming from a Mexican. And once again, what I thought was so funny was the way Kamaru, he reacted, because to me, it tells me so much. I feel like Kamaru, he was shocked because he's thinking to himself, man, there's no way I would be able to say something like that. You know, a lot of these black celebrities, man, they're terrified to say things that are completely unfiltered, unapologetic, like what Hector just said. So Usman is looking at it like, man, them race fans would kill me on the internet if I said something like that. Man, credit to you, man, because you went there. Us black people, we get in trouble when we tell the truth like that. That's how Usman is looking at it. But let me just say this in response to what Hector said. First of all, when it comes to the idea of even getting Canelo Alvarez a black trainer, number one, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. The only way Canelo Alvarez would have even had a chance of fighting like a black American fighter is if he was adopted by a black family that started taking him to the gym at an early age. And he was around nothing but black fighters, just working with them and learning everything they was doing since day one. You can't teach them all that shit at the age of 35. Not to mention, you can't really teach rhythm. Now, you can teach coordination, but you can't really teach rhythm, which truly separates black Americans from everyone in the world. Oscar De La Hoya, he did hire Floyd Mayweather Sr. And the reason why he hired Floyd, because he wanted to learn how to fight like Floyd. No doubt about it. Matter of fact, I remember this like it was yesterday. The first thing that Oscar tried to start doing once he started working with Floyd is the shoulder roll. As a matter of fact, I remember when he was fighting Fernando Vargas, he tried to use that shoulder roll, and every time he tried it, Fernando Vargas, he would knock the shit out of his ass. Oscar could never do it, no matter how long he trained with Floyd Sr. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but even Eric Morales, he hired Floyd Mayweather Sr. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Eric Morales, he hired Floyd Sr. before Oscar De La Hoya did. Now, the story, or at least the Morales story, was they brought him in just to improve Eric Morales' defense. But what Eric Morales did, I felt was a little bit disrespectful to Floyd Sr. because Eric Morales, he wanted to work with Floyd Sr., but he didn't want Floyd Sr. to work his corner when he fought. So when he would fight, Floyd Mayweather would be sitting ringside as opposed to being in his corner. So it came off as if Eric Morales, he had too much Mexican pride to reveal the fact that he was working with a black American trainer to improve his skills. And not just a black American trainer, but Floyd Mayweather's father. Eric Morales, he also used to spar with Floyd Mayweather before as well. This was way before he decided to work with Floyd Sr. So even though I feel Hector, he had a valid point by suggesting that, you know, these Mexican fighters, especially Canelo Alvarez, he should hire a black trainer. While a lot of fighters are not going to be able to learn everything and they may not have the exact same rhythm, I do believe depending on how bad the fighter wants to learn, he will improve. He will be able to learn new things. But I truly believe that this has to start at a younger age. Now, after Hector said that, he went right back to using typical casual talking points. Not only did he say he wants to see the rematch, he wants to see Crawford versus Canelo in a rematch. Once again, he wants Canelo to get a black trainer and then fight Crawford again. But then in the same conversation, he says, Kamaru, you know who I really want to see Crawford fight next? And Kamaru and me, and I think a lot of people listening, we all knew who he was going to say, right? And this is why this was so funny.
But other than that, what do I think is next for and hear me out here, Kamaru Dean. You know who I think is next for Terence Crawford? What I would like to see is now that he beat and dominated Canelo Alvarez, I would love to see Terence Crawford versus the Mexican monster David Benavidez.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
He was at 68. He was the number one. He was the mandatory for Canelo. Canelo.
My God! Relax.
What's up? The scariest guy in the division.
Relax. He's not in the division.
Shit is hilarious. That shit was so funny. Oh, man, I love his reaction. Love Kamaru's reaction. I'm telling y'all, man, these race fans, they are so desperate. This is Mayweather versus Golovkin all over again. In fact, Floyd Mayweather was the exact same age when race fans started to say he needs to move up to middleweight and fight Gennady Golovkin. He was 38 years old. They feel that the black American fighter is so dominant, is so talented, the only way it can be an even fight is if the black American fighter is at a massive disadvantage. The only way it's an even race is if the black American is giving his opponent a head start. 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Now that is an even race. That is how they look at it. Now all of a sudden, race fans, they make it seem like, oh, this is what Crawford has to do for his legacy. His legacy is already stamped. None of these guys that they're saying that Crawford needs to fight, none of them are going to accomplish what Terence Crawford has. The only person that Terence Crawford right now is competing with in the history of the sport is Floyd Mayweather. So it don't matter who Crawford fights from this point on. I mean, he could retire if he wants to. Anything else he does is just extra. He's only competing with himself and Floyd Mayweather, no one else. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
You know, but to be real, Terence Crawford Canelo is the biggest fight in boxing right now today. There's no other fight out there that's bigger than Canelo.
So you think
Crawford.
your fight would do bigger numbers than Benavidez Canelo?
100%. 100%. Let me tell you. African American, Mexican, they always made for the biggest fights in history. Going way back to Pernell Whitaker Chavez.
Yeah.
You know, so it's going to be, you know what I mean, electrifying.
Look, dare I say easy. Like I told you, it wouldn't be easy because all the years of Canelo's career and Crawford's career are hard work. I don't want to discredit Canelo here. He's a really good fighter. And that's what makes this so special, this moment of defeat for the way Crawford won. It makes it very special because it's like not like Canelo. Canelo's a bum. He's a very capable fighter, but he just was not in that level. He was not that pound for pound great as they sell. They sell you a product. You understand? You could have a fighter today, and a really, really good fighter like Canelo, another one, and it'll happen again. And you promote him and you market him and you keep him away from boxers as much as you can, and people they have problems with. And you build his career up, and you build statues of him. You give belts to him, and he's saying this. You keep marketing. This is the man, even after the losses. This is the man. He's the man. He's a legend. He's the pound for pound. He's this. He's that. And then once he steps up and fights another, because he already did with Mayweather, he fights another rarefied air, pound for pound guy who can make adjustments on the fly, the guy who could do it and just do it at a higher level, like the Air Jordan of boxing in this generation. And then he gets beat, and it's like, oh my God, this isn't real. This didn't happen. Oh, it's because of this. It's because of that. It's because you were sold BS. You was a really good fighter, not super great like a Floyd, like a Crawford level type fighter. You were sold that he was that. So a lot of people were so gassed up, they thought that Canelo would knock him out. And knock him out early. I'm still cracking up. You guys are funny. You thought, I'm sure some haters are watching this, you thought Canelo was going to knock Crawford out early. Forget the knockout in the late rounds. I mean, we knew that wasn't going to happen. I said in my fight plan, he would have more and more problems. The only way Crawford should win, this is a decision win. Comfortable. And you thought he was going to knock him out. You're telling me I don't know about boxing. You thought Crawford was going to get knocked out early. Oh my God, that's mad funny. I gotta have a laugh You people make me laugh, and then you're telling me I don't know anything about boxing. Yeah, get with reality. The reality is, I don't know what they're saying on TV because I couldn't give a damn. I'm not watching boxing analysts that are paid with big checks. They all have a bias.
By now we can all come to an agreement that the Canelo fight was all like, it was kind of rigged. I don't know what happened. It started off good, like, but then like towards the end, he kind of seemed kind of off. You know, he wasn't himself. Almost like if they got a phone call, you know, telling them you got to throw the fight. You know, there's way too much money on the line right now. Everybody's betting on Canelo. You got to throw the fight. Throws the fight. We'll give him another extra. You know, who knows how much he got. For all we know, they got like 300, 400, 500 million. We don't know the full numbers. We thought it was just 100 million, which is already a lot. You know what I mean? Who gets paid that much money? And like, I don't know. It's just all fishy. I think it was just, he had to throw a fight. Because now, I guess now there's the rematch going to happen. And Canelo has like 2 more fights in 2027. So really, what did he lose? He didn't lose anything. He got the belts back. Like, didn't lose absolutely anything. His legacy's still up. Like, what do you think? I know Crawford fans, they're happy. They're like, I told you guys, you know. I ain't trying to make this a race thing, but we all know who's really happy that Crawford won.
Good shot. And I said it. You got this fight. This guy's a punching bag. Oh, he hurt him. He hurt him. He hurt him.
I thought he hurt him.
He did. Yes.
He won.
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie.
Crawford.
To the T, chat.
Said it.
To the T, literally. Easier than I expected. A little bit.
I tell you.
Easier than I expected.
Boxing IQ of Crawford, it's pretty much similar to Mayweather's IQ. No disrespect to Mayweather. I knew Canelo was just a very ordinary boxer. He's been cherry picking a lot of fighters, and he's been winning with not much effort. This one he couldn't cherry pick. He thought he had somebody coming from 154 to 168.
To 168.
What is your prediction for the fight then tonight? How do you think it will go?
Look, it's hard to say because, you know, it's going to be a very close fight. But if you want to know who my money's on, Terence Crawford.
I want to know from you guys, based on your expertise, how do you see this fight playing out?
I think it's going to be a very excellent fight. It's going to be a very intriguing fight from the beginning. But I think that once the fight starts, and my prediction, if Bud comes in the ring, because that's my prediction of who I think is going to win Bud.
Okay.
So I think if he comes in, starts fast, starts letting, you know, Bud go, you know what I'm saying? Started out with right-handed and he switched up to the left-handed style, busting Canelo up, making him miss, hitting him with great counter punches and counter shots. By the 11th round, he'll be softened up and we can sit him down.
We have never seen
this.
Anybody sit down Canelo Alvarez.
Terence Bud Crawford has been doing things that we've never seen done in boxing before. He was the first man to become undisputed.
All right.
2 different times. I mean, the way he's moving up and down the scale of the weight classes and dominating these fighters. Well, nobody thought he was going to dismantle Earl Spence like that.
Yeah.
I'm Bud County all the way.
Bud
County,
what I'm saying?
Right? I've been following this guy for a long, long time, man. Southpaw, switch hitter. And he's a two-fisted monster.
Yeah.
You know, he used those hands better than anybody. And but he is fighting Canelo Alvarez.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think moving up 2 weights is going to be challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But if anybody can do it successfully, it's a guy named Bud Crawford. Man.
How is he going to do it?
Well, when you look at Canelo's last few fights, he hasn't been really active. He hasn't been throwing combination punches. It's been like one punch at a time, one here, one there. And I think he's going to have to get back to his boxing combination style. I think if we see the Canelo, and I call him Saul, with Saul show up, the one guy that defeated Plant, that was the active Canelo that I believe will give anybody problems. But the Canelo we've been seeing recently, it just seemed like, you know, he don't have that hunger or intensity that he used to have when he was a young kid coming up. And I think when you look at it, hunger being hungry in boxing is important.
I don't think it's going to be a lot of action. I
Really?
don't, because I just think they're both very technical fighters. You're right, Canelo hasn't been that active. It's tough to counter punch off a guy who isn't that active. So Bud's going to have to step on the gas and be aggressive. Will he or will he? I think it's going to be really close. I think there's going to be a lot of arguments after this fight.
Well, how do you believe, because Espinoza is leaning Canelo Alvarez, and it's interesting that all the three black guys pick Crawford and the one Mexican.
I'm saying, I mean,
like a California
I'm
prison.
not saying, well, yeah.
Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Deki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodeki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.